away for too long. Well, not thorn, but cock. But either way, today we're going to review Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and with that, the cleansing ritual will be revealed to me, and I will finally be freed from all these nightmares about creepy and Rob Zombie movies and demonetization. And with that, we're caught up on the story so far, so let's get right to that review. Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair, and welcome to the grand finale of...
The Summer of Hell! The Summer of Halloween!
And today we are looking at the last Rob Zombie reboot Halloween movie, and the 10th Halloween movie to come out, Halloween 2. As if having 3 Halloween movies titled Halloween wasn't confusing enough, Halloween 2 by Rob Zombie came out a mere 2 years after his first reboot in 2009. Much like the original Halloween 2, it picks up right after the events of the first, but things do change quite drastically from that point on. And Halloween 2 takes place the night of and the morning after, whereas Halloween 2 takes place the night of and morning after a bit, and then mostly 2 years later. As in the Halloween you know what I mean. The basic story is, hell, you should know by now. Michael Myers didn't die, and now it's Halloween, and he's come back to Haddonfield to kill Laurie Strode. But decides to spend a couple hours butchering the whole town first, because, fuck it, it's Haddonfield. I doubt in between movies the people of this town just decided to magically devote their lives to the ways of our Lord and Savior, Bob Ross. But anyway, let's take a look at Halloween 2, and free me of this curse. First things first, let's get a retcon in there! According to the subconscious psychosis of dreams, dreaming about white horses means something about releasing powerful emotions, and that could include rage, therefore it means you want to kill people. How is that a retcon, you ask?
It reminds me of something. What? What does it remind you of? Just a dream that I had last night.
Evidently, Mikey here just so happened to be dreaming about white horses the whole time, and we're just now mentioning it. Either that or Rob Zombie read like 1 book on psychology in between movies. Also, while Sheri Moon Zombie returns as Michael's mother, Child Michael himself has been recast as Chase Vanek.
You were walking down this white hallway with this big white horse, saying you were gonna come and take me back home.
Supposedly, they did bring the original kid back at first and filmed a few scenes with him, but he grew up too much in between movies and didn't really look the same, so they recast him with another kid who doesn't look the same and isn't as good of an actor. I'm gonna love this, aren't I? Reminding us how cute Michael is with Tickle Time, we suddenly jump 15 years later right after the first movie finished off. Laurie wanders down the dark streets in the intermittent rain until Sheriff Brackett finds her and can help calm the situation down.
I want you to come with me, okay?
Or at the very least get her to go blow out someone else's eardrums. Which serves as our cheap scares opening, with quick cuts, loud noises, and some gross-out horror gore, needles, and fingernail pulling to really get you on board. Now, well, back to the house to establish what happened to Michael Myers. He got shot in the head, and the body is being transported by none other than the Doom movie's Portman, Richard Brake, who plays Gary Scott.
You gotta look at the naked chick. Ooh, man, she was F-I-N-E fine. I heard a story about a couple of meat wagon boys fucking corpses over in Essex.
And as usual, he's typecast as a reprehensible piece of shit, so he's probably a local. And he's going to continue talking about Linda's sexy dead body and how he totally won't have sex with it, but really, she's the sexiest corpse he's ever laid eyes on. I'm just hoping for anything at all to come to end this conversation.
You're like, cow! Cow!
Convenient bovine with peculiar shattering properties. That'll do. However, the crash might have killed the driver, but our neighborhood necrophile is still kicking.
Hooks.
I know you're surrounded by dead bodies, but please don't get that excited. Especially considering that while the crash might have killed or severely injured all of them, that body they were hauling of Michael Myers, well, some fucking how, it got better! Shot in the head, confirmed very dead, and just now in a car accident, but none of that is nearly as important as the body count rising. Okay, he could stop sounding like he's liking it any time now. Only I'm allowed to enjoy his death that much. Point is, Michael gets some head, but then he sees something. Are you serious? Well, that white horse is just gonna be in the whole movie. Great. Great! Remember though, Laurie gets hospitalized after the events of Halloween, so here she is in the very sparsely populated halls of this facility, searching for her intensive care buddy.
Oh, Annie.
Well, this is probably the only chance I'm ever going to get to do this, so may as well. Establish, yes, she did survive the first movie, but keeping friends together for emotional support isn't covered by her insurance, and Octavia Spencer whisks her away to go back to her own room. But then there's a call on the intercom, so she's gotta have to limp the rest of the way on her own.
Please report to emergency room A.
Nurse,
We clearly saw her leave the scene, Laurie. Don't act like she just Batmaned her way out of there. But darn it, walking on a broken leg isn't working out for Laurie, so she decides to walk back and ask for help with walking to her room she just said she was fine to walk to. Oh, well, she finds Octavia again. Oh, damn, are they doing the razor blades and the Halloween treats thing again? Well, if by razor blade you mean kitchen knife and Halloween treat you mean Michael Myers, he's already figured out Laurie's at the hospital and teleported his way back here to get her. Eventually. First he has to finish off the nurse, who seems to have even more hit points than Michael himself, going by how much he's stabbing her. Hell, at that point, even he has to make sure. As fast as Laurie tries to get away, though, she is running on a broken leg, and Michael is closing in on her. That and the strange back rooms she tries to flee through aren't the easiest to navigate. You might find that random pile of corpses to be very out of place, but remember, this is Haddonfield. Of course they have a random room in the back where they just dump dead bodies. I'm surprised this hospital doesn't have a torture chamber. To be fair, not everyone is an asshole in this town. For example, when Laurie escapes the hospital only to run back into it for safety, she finds Richard Riley, who is downright called Buddy in this movie, and he's actually pretty nice.
help me, please,
Oh my
help me.
God!
Or he's just cooperating because he's terrified of her, but then again, who isn't? But because all she tells him is, help me, over and over again, he has next to nothing to really go on, and I had no idea there's a crazy psycho stalker killer man sneaking around outside. But maybe Rob Zombie's just gonna retcon Buddy to be an asshole anyway, like he did Danny Trejo, and said, oh no, really, he actually molested Michael when he was a kid in the institution. Yeah, sure. Can't let anyone think that you might be capable of writing characters who aren't irredeemable assholes. Fuck it. Buddy sells meth-laced donuts to kids. Fuck it. With the death of that terrible secret deviant Buddy out of the way, Laurie is cornered. Even worse, the camera won't stop shaking. Even though they're not in a car or anything remotely like that, Michael's wrecking a place very securely built on solid ground. Is there supposed to be an earthquake or something? Yeah, fuck it, the point is he's going for Laurie. But it was all just a dream! For over 20 fucking minutes! Dear God, the only way the rest of the movie could disappoint me even more if it's a CGI and jump scare laden found footage romantic comedy. I hope you weren't expecting an explanation as to what really fucking happened, because it's 2 goddamn years later and the best we can do is use context clues to try and patch it together on our own. Seems Laurie's a punk now, with a tramp stamp, psychological issues, and a dead family, so she's moved in with Annie and Annie's father, Sheriff Brackett. Surprising because somehow in between movies, Laurie has managed to become even more of a cunt, as she pisses and moans about having to go to therapy with a therapist who's only listening because that's what she's paid to do. And he tries to console her, but breaks under the pressure of Laurie being such a whiny little bitch.
You don't fucking care.
Right. I don't fucking care. I don't understand, Laurie.
Yeah, Laurie didn't have a good time last movie. Surviving an attempted murder and getting really roughed up is pretty damn bad, but Annie's boyfriend was ripped from her during sex and murdered in front of her, and she herself was beaten and stabbed until she couldn't move, and she barely survived by luck. Apples to apples, Laurie's being an untit bastard. Laurie's therapist turns out to be Lois Lane herself, Margaret Kidder, who despite Laurie's dislike and my own personal distrust of therapists, actually does seem to give half a damn about doing a good job and helping her through this. We find out that Laurie's anger towards Annie might be a form of self-hatred, all things considered.
I know that it's my fault. And I get angry, and there's something in my body that snaps.
I get that problem too. Oh, paralyzed.
And I get this 0 to 100 rage, and I just want to go up to her, and I just want to... Fuck, I don't know.
Okay, finish the thought. Finish that thought, it's really important.
Oh, no, I tried finishing that thought before. It was a reaction review of The Predator. Oh, well, her mental health isn't nearly as important as that one book Rob Zombie read in between movies.
What is that?
That's whatever you think it is what that is.
A fucking Rorschach test. One that obviously looks like white horses. Oh gee, look at this picture that is quite clearly and obviously white horses. I can't imagine who could possibly see white horses in this. Though to be honest, at first I saw two weird alien embryos headbutting each other. Laurie, of course, sees white horses. Kind of like how Bruce Wayne in Batman Forever saw a bat in the Rorschach test that was very clearly a bat. Dr. Loomis, however, sees dollar bills, y'all. As it turns out, he did write a sequel to his book, The Devil's Eyes. The Devil Walks Among Us. With his fame has come money, press events, and more than a little snobbery.
This is old Loomis. This is new.
Old Loomis increases sales by 25%, okay? So...
Oh, the stress and uncertainty of updating a YouTube channel icon. While Loomis makes money off people's pain and suffering, Laurie has a job over at Uncle Meat's Java House, owned by Uncle Meat, played by Howard Hessman. For 45 seconds, then he leaves the movie never to be seen again. The important characters are Laurie's two new friends, Mia, played by Bria Gant, and Harley, played by Angela Trimber. We establish there is a Halloween party later, and these two girls are Laurie's friends. Yeah. Okay, they won't be important for a while, so let's not have them appear again until necessary. Loomis is showing something far more earth-shattering.
Your mother has passed away.
She'll be back.
Michael's fucking talking again. Jesus Christ, he talked his ass off in the last movie, but his mother committing suicide was a result of not only Michael killing one of the sanitarium staff, but the fact that he had stopped talking completely by that point. Aren't people gonna ask Loomis what the fuck this is all about, considering the shit he already wrote in the first fucking book? He elaborates that Michael's refusal to accept his mother's death is evidence of his disconnect from reality.
Freud would certainly have a field day with that little one, wouldn't he?
Sigmund Freud! Jesus, Rob, you really did pick up one book on psychology in between movies and fucking ran with it, didn't you? Yeah, the guy's pretty well known, but his entire body of work has been discredited for decades.
It is the fate of all of us to direct our first sexual impulses towards our mothers.
And only the most famous examples of his work are the ones cited, and not even properly. Sigmund Freud said specifically, sons wanted to fuck their mothers. Daughters resented their mothers because they didn't give them a penis.
And our first murderous hatred against our fathers.
Well, then you should see where this line of thinking falls apart already. The first thing Michael was killing was animals, and then a school bully.
In Michael's case, I became the surrogate father.
Oh, that's why he hates you. Not the walls or bombarding him with questions about the murders that he clearly didn't want to answer, or not letting him go home. None of that. It's that you're old and have a penis. Lousy old man penises.
Has anybody got any questions?
Yeah, is Rob Zombie going to retcon Michael again in the next movie to explain how he survives getting shot 6 times because he's actually a weird mutation because in between movies, Rob Zombie read the fucking origin of species? Of course, the actual questions revolve around Michael and the fact that he did butcher a whole town, and making money off that tragedy is kind of a dick move. Also, does Loomis feel any responsibility for the deaths? I mean, he did write that first book. Finally, how do you know he's dead? Did you see the body?
Let me make things nice and sparkling clear. Michael Myers is fucking dead!
Much as I don't care for the writing, I still have to give it up for Malcolm McDowell's performance. And I really don't think you can pick a better actor to make references to A Clockwork Orange. Michael, of course, is still alive and well, and now looking like a beastly homeless man, though he's still played by Tyler Mane. He's living on his own, spare his ghostly mama kicking around.
Michael, Halloween is coming. You have to get ready.
You are not wearing that shitty clown costume another year. Just go to Walmart and take anything. It's bound to be better. Of course, Michael didn't buy this land. He's trespassing! However, when the owners stop him and try to question the guy, he's not talking. They're from Haddonfield, so...
You stupid fuck! I'm talking to you! Right.
Couldn't fucking kill him!
It's okay, honey. I'm just trying to ask him a few questions. But he won't answer! At her request, they stop beating him, but they still take their sweet-ass time getting out of there, which means he has no problem getting right the fuck back up and murdering the fuck out of them! Both the men who were beating him and the woman who told them to stop because he's a little rusty and needs to practice his stabby motion. This also gets spliced in with a dinner conversation between Annie, her dad, and that deadbeat bitch living with them. Specifically, dietary habits.
All I know is I hope that dead rotting flesh didn't bump on my pineapple.
A little dead, rotting flesh never hurt.
Oh God, do we have to do this every fucking time we eat together?
Hey, all I ask is that you tolerate me eating meat if you expect me to tolerate you putting pineapple on pizza. The talk about how eating meat is only natural is of course augmented with shots of Michael Myers killing, butchering, and eating the dog. Makes me wonder if Rob Zombie's a fan of kale smoothies. Ah well, meat is bad, Laurie has weird black and white nightmares involving Michael and Michael's mom because reasons, and Loomis is having another press event at the old Myers house to promote his new book, out tomorrow on Halloween. His assistant, though, thinks this might upset the locals as it is in very bad taste.
Bad taste? Bad taste? God, it's business, woman! Business!
Who wants to bet this is actually Rob Zombie's pseudo-response to critics who said he butchered the classic? I swear something important's gonna happen soon. Laurie goes to the bathroom only to have a waking dream about being Michael Myers as a kid and murdering the family, thing that she didn't witness, but it's enough to get her to waste her psychiatrist's time talking about a fucking petting zoo before simply demanding more drugs that she can't just hand over, so scream at her and decide never to come here again.
I'm really concerned right now.
Bullshit,
No, it's not bullshit.
You know what? You're more fucked up than I am, you crazy bitch!
Well, who wouldn't be after having to deal with your ass for 2 years? There's also some things hinted to by Loomis about new details he found out, but oh, you gotta buy his book if you want to know. In the meantime, we can just wait around and have Laurie's useless, annoying ass get all uppity because Annie's really tired of her shit.
I'm not putting up with your mommy shit.
Get the fuck out of my room! Get the fuck out of my room!
Bitch, get out of her house! Jesus Christ! Michael, get your ass over here and kill the bitch already! It takes us going back to his mother's old workplace before Michael finally shows up again. Out back as we spend ages watching this guy take out the trash, still looking like a homeless man. A 7-foot-tall homeless man, but yeah, horror movie victims are stupid.
Done! Fuck!
What do you expect when the guy's about 4 weight classes above you? Also nice if you just lie there and let him make monster mash out of your face. He is wheezing pretty hard. Even the 2018 senior citizen Michael Myers wasn't this out of shape. The other two are inside trying to have really, really awkward sex, so fortunately Michael steps in to stop that, and finally has his mask on. However, the man has a revolver.
I'll take you out, you hear me? I'll fucking
It's a gun! You shoot guns, you don't run up with them arms outstretched so the big monster man can grab them from you and beat you to death with it! Or at least mess the guy up pretty bad anyway. It's a bad angle, I'm pretty sure they don't mean anything by it. No bother, Michael can finish him off and then go for the woman. Gee, thank you. Him running around half the time with his mask off isn't good enough. Now even when he is wearing it, we can still see his face. Brilliant. For that, she has her own face bashed in, and we can move on to the big day, Halloween. It's the release of Loomis's new book, The Devil Walks Among Us, and its amazing revelations. This is met with Laurie giving her own reaction review in her car.
Fuck! 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 Fuck you, motherfucker! Fuck!
It can't be that bad, considering that's the same reaction she gives to being told she has to take out the trash. The reason for her breakdown is something totally serious, though. So much so that she can only confide in the two she trusts the most. Her friends from that scene at work earlier who disappeared from the movie until now.
I'm Angel Myers. Michael Myers' sister.
That is a hell of a way to find out you're adopted. Hey, son. Not only am I not your father and your mother's not your mother, but you're actually a really close relative of Ed Gein. Yes, you can dress as Leatherface this year. So she's having a hard time, much like Loomis, who ends up on the same show as Weird Al Yankovic, only to again be bombarded with accusations about monetizing people's misery.
Profiteering off the misery of others. I mean, how do you even respond to that criticism?
Well, you know, I think that's completely unfounded. I always get permission when I do the parody.
And yes, I know, I look like Weird Al. People have been telling me I look like Weird Al for decades. Yes, I know! Dr. Loomis doesn't seem to understand there's no such thing as bad publicity and is furious how they made fun of him. Not as bad treatment as the town of Haddonfield is about to receive as Michael is out trick-or-treating.
Are you a giant? Can we be friends?
God, if this kid survives to adulthood, he's gonna be one of those guys who tries to make his car go faster by filling that tank with Mountain Dew game fuel. Perhaps to show he's even more evil than we thought, Michael lets the kid live to torment the world for years to come. Laurie, however, is still distraught and figures the best way to deal with her shocking revelation is to go to that Halloween party they have been planning to attend since the beginning of the movie. How convenient! And they're all dressed like characters from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Rob, little tip. You don't want to remind the audience that they could be spending their time watching a different, better movie. Harley is the first to break off from the group to try and awkwardly have sex with the most indecisive werewolf you can find. Eventually, she gets things going her damn self, but then, surprise, surprise, he has to run out to pee. Well, at least someone here knows how to get to the point. Wasting no time, Michael breaks through the window, grabbing Harley, and killing the fuck out of her! With her out of the way, and not much movie left, Laurie gets another one of those creepy visions of her dead mother.
What do you want from me?
It's almost time to come home, Angel.
I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. Every time she's on screen, I just have Living Dead Girl playing in my head. Point is, Laurie starts freaking out as Hobo Michael attacks! But it was all just a daydream! So that's enough partying for her. She's gotta go home. But Brackett does have that one policeman in place to protect his daughter on Halloween night, just in case. Oh, thanks, Michael. That crick has been bothering me for weeks. With the officer out of the way, Michael can teleport his ass inside, waiting in Annie's bathroom to pursue her through the hallways in slow motion. When Laurie arrives, she finds evidence that Michael must have torn through the entire house chasing after her. And somehow they both wound up right the fuck back in the bathroom for Michael to strip her down and stab the shit out of her! Again! Also, her last oh-so-important friend gets killed, but that's not really what's important.
Annie!
Annie's fucking dead. That sucks because she was probably my favorite character this time around. Telling Laurie to go fuck herself will do that. But now we're stuck with Miss Oh Woe Is Me, my brother's a murderous asshole, and of course her brother, the murderous asshole. Even worse, the movie starts trying to pretend it's all artistic and tragic all of a sudden. Slow motion running through the moonlight, sad music, heart-wrenching scenes of Sheriff Brackett finding out his daughter was killed. Yeah, that's sad and all, but not nearly as bad as the fact that Laurie is still alive. And no matter how many people try to help her, only for Michael to materialize in and kill the shit out of them, Laurie somehow has managed to not die. Fuck's sake, Michael, do your job. He does kidnap her. Yeah, kidnap, again. Bringing her out to that old shack he's been living in all this time. Of course, it's the end of the movie, and therefore the police finally find the damn thing and swoop in to save her. I like how Michael looks over like, bitch, they can't hear you, and you're being held down by imaginary child me. I'm pretty sure you're the crazier of the two of us. But what's this? Loomis has returned. He's finally remorseful over making so much money off of so many people suffering, and thinks he's partly responsible for the situation, so he takes it upon himself to make things harder for the police, running in there to save the day!
He's holding me down!
Oh, come on, Laurie, even if he was real, he's 10! She can't manage to shake off her imaginary enemies, but probably the bigger problem for Loomis is his very real enemy, Michael Myers.
Michael, for God in heaven, die!
Fuck it, that's not Michael Myers. That's Killer Hobo of Haddonfield by Rob Zombie. As evidenced when the police shoot the ever-loving fuck out of him and he shimmies in place, not reacting to the gunshots realistically, just getting one last boogie on before he falls down. Finally dead. But Laurie is alive! God damn it. The one person I wanted to see get killed all movie.
Hold your fire! Hold your fire!
Aw, fuck hold your fire. Just stop with the freeze-frame slow-mo bullshit. I'm trying to enjoy this, Rob. Therefore, happy ending! Laurie is finally fucking dead. The hobo slasher villain is dead. The Rob Zombie reboot series is dead. Dead things cannot affect the living. Until surprise fucking surprise, Laurie's not dead. She's institutionalized with a friendly reminder that they have white horses in this movie. Oh god, it's so deep and meaningful. Look at the white horse.
Love her.
Though Rob Zombie in the commentary said, actually, she did die. That sanitarium scene was the last thought going through her head as she died. She didn't survive and get institutionalized. Never mind the fact that there initially were plans for a third Rob Zombie Halloween movie where Laurie was stalked by Michael Myers in the sanitarium. I guess Rob thinks that even real life can be retconned. Anyway, that was Rob Zombie's not even remotely Halloween in any way, shape, or form 2. While the initial remake of Halloween had a very different feel throughout the production, the fact that it did follow the approximate plot and characters of the original movie did mean on some level it was sort of a Halloween movie, but this one? What the hell is Halloween about this movie other than the title? Laurie is an unlikable brat, Loomis is a far more likable self-centered jackass, and Michael is missing in action. We have a guy in this movie called Michael Myers who wears a mask, sometimes, but between his hobo attire, hobo beard, and, lest we forget, talking, about the only thing he has in common with the established character is he likes to kill people on Halloween. So while Rob Zombie's Halloween was Halloween reimagined by Rob Zombie, Halloween 2 by Rob Zombie is simply a Rob Zombie film with some characters named after those in Halloween. It's very easy to see why fans of the series regard this as the worst. But is it really the worst movie? I'm not certain. Yeah, it's bad, but Resurrection was a boring, cliched mess of a movie. Halloween 2 by Rob Zombie, taken as a horror movie by itself and doing everything in your power to try to forget it's supposed to be in the Halloween franchise, isn't quite as horrible. Myers does come off as more evil here than he did in the first Rob Zombie Halloween, and also this time around it felt like one cohesive story rather than two self-contained stories squished into one movie. So, very weirdly, looking at Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 on its own merits, it's not the worst thing ever made. It's bad, it definitely has its own charm, whether you like or hate Rob Zombie's work. As useless as he was to the story, every scene with Loomis made my day. Except him getting killed by Talking Myers, but you know what I mean. Anyway, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 somehow ekes out 2 obvious fucking white horses out of 5. And with that, the summer of Halloween is finally over. It took long enough. H2O was pretty good. And the 2018 movie wasn't that bad. Looking forward to the next good Halloween movie in 2038. Thank you all for watching. I've been Dr. Shado. And remember, if your character's a mute, stop writing lines for them! What are you doing here? I finished all of the Halloween reviews. The secrets of the cleansing ritual were supposed to be revealed to me! And?
Fuck! Fuck you, motherfucker! Fuck!